We are on the afternoon break in the first day of questioning of the undercover police officer's manager, Bob Lambert. We've been listening to further questions about his time managing the unit. I'm joined by James from Count Fire. What have you made of the dribble that we've heard from Bob Lambert over the last hour and a half?
Yeah, they as soon as it started this morning, it started to seep back in how Bob Lambert delivers his evidence, and it didn't feel like it'd been away for 18 months or whatever it was.
It's such hard work.
I think more than like 2 years, or December 2024, wasn't it? November.
God, was it?
Yeah, I think so. He does seem to get a bit more stressed than I think today. There's some lines of questioning he really wasn't comfortable with today.
Yeah,
this afternoon.
There's definitely. I mean, he was questioning a lot about the tradecraft manual, and he was desperately like kind of casting around for some way to excuse himself for the fact that he'd approved this document that was encouraging officers to basically break the law and act very immorally.
I mean, I think he has a huge problem with, because he's got David Barr's basically going through undercover by undercover that Lambert's managed, that's all deceived women into long-term sexual relationships, and also codified it within a tradecraft manual.
Yeah.
And Lambert's got a problem that, particularly him, he's got a very checkered history with exactly the same past.
Yeah, very much.
And it's really coming to bite him, and he's really struggling to find some answers, I think, and I don't think there's anything he can really do other than bumble his way through as the way he goes.
I mean, his whole answer for the tradecraft manual questions was to go, well, that no recruit would consider this official SDS document as being anything other than just the opinions of one officer, which is laughable. I mean, just straight laughable.
It's a document that goes to all the trainee SDS officers when the back office getting ready to go into the field. So
it's like saying that, well, obviously no school pupil would think that the syllabus was anything other than just the opinions of one
exactly.
teacher. I mean, like, come on.
And every single undercover's been asked about, and they all know that about it. They've all read it. So you read it, Jenna read it, Thompson read it. I think they've all had it. They all deceived women in some relationship, and
it encourages them.
The heart of darkness at the.
Yeah, I mean, one thing which I think Barr highlighted within it, which I don't think enough is made of, is that it says don't have relationships with activists. Try and have relationships with those who aren't activists, because I think one of the great unexplored areas of this inquiry is the fact that these undercover police officers not only deceived activists, they also they created their own kind of cover by deceiving ordinary members of the public who weren't involved in any form of activism, and they were encouraged to have sexual relations with them.
I'm sat just behind Belinda Harvey.
Right. Yeah.
Case in point, and not from Bob's own.
But further than that, the people who weren't even connected in any way, the
general public just becomes tools of the endeavors of the SDS.
Absolutely.
And we're yet to see what the point of any of these deployments really were.
Right.
I don't think Mitting's gonna, even in his final report, or in the interim report that he did, Mitting's struggling to find the rationale for carrying this unit on. They're 20 years after those days are codifying the behaviours that justifies using the public for sexual gratification and the espionage for minimal results in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
One thing I found really interesting that you should bring up as well was the thing about the negative equity of Andy Coles.
Yes, yeah.
And
so I mean, just to set the scene, when undercover officers or former undercover officers were considered to be operationally exposed in some manner, then themselves and their families were relocated by the unit, and it was one thing to sort of facilitate the move. But I mean, generally they would sell their house and buy another house. But Andy Coles, like many people in the 1990s, was in negative equity. And it appears that they contacted the Home Office and got extra funding in order to pay off that, which was at 30,000 odd.
30,000, which I worked out in 2026 money, it's about 65 grand.
Right, yeah.
But that's insane. And that's a direct link to the Home Office.
Yeah, very direct.
Still haven't been called to give evidence, as far as I'm aware at this point.
No, I mean, as it stands, they're not. And I mean, what's interesting is, the way in which, I mean, Lambert just seemed a bit blindsided by this and was like, "Oh, I couldn't remember. I wasn't sure."
The things when he started to really got his glasses on, his hands were waving all over the place.
yeah. He's smirking a lot as well, isn't he?
He was not at that point.
Not that point. No, definitely not that point.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So, but when his own sort of sexual misconduct is brought up, he can't help but kind of think back those times and have a big old smile about it.
he definitely seems to enjoy certain elements of this. So maybe he's not getting the attention that he used to when he was the man at the middle of the SDS in the 90s, or on stage at various meetings as an academic in the 15 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's quite a lot for the public to swallow, surely. That an SDS officer, Andy Coles, what intelligence did he gather?
I mean, quite.
We went through 3 days of his evidence,
and what risk was he under? I mean, like this, very none whatsoever. None whatsoever. I mean, it's a nonsense, really. It really is.
And also, this is a man, Andy Coles, that runs a public office every 5 minutes.
Right? Yeah, totally. Yeah,
and has been a councillor. Surely, elected politicians shouldn't be getting the Home Office and the Metropolitan Police Officer to bail them out of negative equity so they can move house for an utterly pointless deployment undercover.
Absolutely. Just quickly on him running for office, unsuccessfully, we should say.
Very unsuccessfully.
Once again, since we were last here, Andy Coles has run for public office and lost miserably.
Yes, hopefully for the last time. Although every time I go to Peterborough to help Jessica with the flowering, it's very sunny. So
apparently there is another by-election, but he wasn't selected as the candidate. But the rumor is he is going to attempt to run for parish council, which is a bit of a fall from grace, really, for a former deputy assistant police and crime commissioner.
But I think he thinks that any position that he can get into justifies his behaviour in the early 90s, maybe. That if he can get anyone to vote for him. But even, I was on the doors on that thing, and we went to talk to an amazing looking 90-year-old guy who looks better than me, to be honest. But
disgusting.
He's old friends with Coles, and he said he would never vote for him at all.
Right.
I think the message is definitely seeped into the consciousness of the people of Peterborough, thanks to Jessica and her efforts.
Yeah, fair play. I mean, a massive shout out to Jessica, who, if you're not following on Twitter, you definitely should be. She is giving the best running commentary of proceedings as ever. A
little bit more. I haven't seen any today, but a little bit more expletive written than
certainly. I think the social media ban that has just been announced today would probably be for the best when it comes to her. Her
certainly, you don't want you. Yeah, it comes with a parental guidance.
Very much. Yeah. Just towards the end there, we started getting on to looking at some of the reports that Lambert would have, officers would have submitted whilst he was in role. We were actually shown one of the god awful photocopies of an NCR sheet, which I thought we're long gone. We got used to seeing like computerized reports recently, but we were back to sort of like, tranche one of the inquiry kind of quality documents again.
Also, just quickly, McDonald's got brought up again with Coles.
Yes, it did. Yes,
and I wasn't aware, and you'll be more aware, whether McLibel and McDonald's had been linked to the Met so directly as it was in that document.
Yes, I mean that document was talking about monitoring for what was his bloody name? The animal rights activist. It's just gone from my head. Did a hunger strike.
Barry Horn.
Barry Horn, yes, Barry Horn. Yeah, so Barry Horn was mentioned. The fact when they were like trying to track him down long before the hunger strike, and that they were setting up the special branch for communication with McDonald's Corporation about trying to find him, to do some other matters. And it was put to him that, obviously Special Branch did this sort of thing. So did the SDS. Oh, never directly. Never directly. Not to my knowledge, never directly. Which, I mean, as we know...
He tacitly agreed that indirectly perhaps it could have been, which I think was a little step in the right direction
very
for
much.
Many of them.
Yeah.
And a further link between them, which clearly is, by all the evidence rather than any of the words of the SDS officers, is already apparent. But it is gradually, it's one of those examples that even now after so many years, gradually little bits and more, you just take little baby steps in the right direction and certain things all the time.
Yeah, I mean, and it is baby steps. But yeah, just looking at those reports, we started off with one which mentioned Michael Mansfield, who was in the room, has been is there today at the proceedings, described as the devil incarnate.
Was that Jenna, wasn't it?
I believe it was Jenna. Yes,
who referred to him that day.
Yeah.
Who had a registry file since 1976.
1976.
Mansfield, not Jenna.
Yeah.
Perhaps it would have served better if Jenna had one.
But... yeah, quite. Yeah. And was there any limits on reporting on lawyers? No, not at all. None at all. We saw reports on Neville Lawrence, and it was kind of brought up that there was it was about the National Council Against Racism,
National Assembly Against
Sorry,
Racism,
National Assembly Against
with,
Racism.
Neville Lawrence and Diane Abbott and
Yes.
Bernie Grant speaking at
Yes,
this meeting.
yeah, and it was put that that anti-racism, there was nothing criminal, no disorder. It was a very legitimate, very mainstream sort of protest group. And why were the SDS taking an interest? And it was pointed out that there was something about race, particularly at that point, and the anti-racist movement that was kind of considered in some way like some form of sedition. There was something subversive about it. I think Lambert did a very bad job of going, oh, well, it was just Trevor Morris was there, so he had to report on it.
Yeah, just because he was with his SWP.
Yeah.
I was almost going to say buddies then, but I'm sure they don't consider him that way anymore. But yes, the people he was spying on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And we're starting to go through. I'm guessing the next couple of days that's what we're going to see. It's going to be a lot of, here's a report, which, you've signed off on. Why? Why have you signed off on this report?
One thing I do like as well is they've compared to how Barr handled Lambert 18 months or so ago.
It's improved.
100%. He's cutting him off sometimes when he's going on his back.
Thank God. There's so many times where like the words, let me just stop you there, kind of comes as blessed relief as, this, because for those of you who are not watching the feed, I can't underline enough how bloody useless Lambert it is as answering questions. So often he starts sentences, stops midway through, starts a new sentence, stops that, says nothing, literally nothing. It's very frustrating to listen to.
And then he'll just try and get off onto any tangent he can. But he's been really good because he tried to bring up who's the animal rights activist that?
Oh yes,
Chris. I said it, but there was the incident that was talked about a lot in Tranche 2. Where an animal rights activist had a post box, incendiary dice where there was a plan to put an incendiary dice in a post box, and he tried to bring that up in a completely irrelevant way.
Yeah,
about risk to SDS officers, and Barr was immediately done.
Yep, shut him down.
He's been great with that all day.
Yes, and, no, and it's about time because 100%. Last time I think previously Barr thought, well, I'll just give him enough rope to sort of hang himself, but I think there is only so many hours in our lives. Essentially, that.
Well, I'm only here Monday and Tuesday, and then I'm hoping to come back on Friday for Helen Steele.
Right.
Not another day about Lambert.
No, please, God, no. I think 4 days is more than enough of Lambert.
But I think he's trying to set up as well with there was a talk about John Webb and the administrative side of it, or how much, and he's trying to set up these little confrontations between Lambert and his old colleagues, and I think just to nibble away at his defenses a bit and to put build some more sort of antagonisms between them, because they're very much an old boys club of looking out for each other.
Absolutely, and it seems like Lambert would prefer to blame his subordinates than take any responsibility himself. It's only a short break we're on. We should be going back in fairly soon. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, great. Buy this man a coffee.
Oh yeah, please feel free to do that.
The link that is going to be probably at the bottom
somewhere. It's on my profile. It certainly is. If you'd like to do that, you're more than welcome. Thanks for joining us. We'll be going back in soon. We'll do another one at the end of the day. Please like, share, subscribe.